Bonjour, Émilie Talpin, OM System Ambassador. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to tell you everything about my experience with the OM-5 and the 12 to 100 millimeter lens. So let's get straight into business. You might have noticed a trend. Yes, most of my videos lately, at least this summer, have been on the OM5. That's because I got a loaner from my friends at OM System. So if you guys are watching, thank you so much because I have been having a blast with this camera. You know me, I'm a macro photographer and a wildlife photographer. I don't do landscape. And I've realized that when I came back from trips, my friends and my family are asking me for photos, and I show them photos of bugs, photos of wildlife, and they're telling me, yes, but what did you see? And I'm like, well, I saw this bear, or I saw this very cute fly. And it's not flying for them. Sorry for the really bad joke, but it's true. They're asking me, yes, but the landscape, where are your landscape? And I just tell them I'm not a landscape photographer, but I thought, they're right. I think if you want to tell the story of your trip, then you should have different angles for people to appreciate the grandeur of your trip. So my problem is that when I travel with the OM1 and then I have the 150 400, and then I'm thinking that's all I want to shoot with. And I'm adding my macro lens. Right now I have the 90 millimeter macro. When I travel, I do like to take the 60 as well. It's a little smaller, and that's actually what I took in Yellowstone and the Grand Teton. Although, to be honest with you, I didn't do much macro over there. It was mostly a family trip, but I wanted to be able to capture some wildlife, but also some landscape. And I really impressed with the OM5. I think after this video I'm actually gonna get my own OM5 because it really pushed me to get outside of my comfort zone and try to see things a little bit differently. And what I love about the 12 to 100 is that I can do big landscape, but I can also get into the detail, what is more like an intimate landscape. And I'm going to show you a couple of photos. So this was actually taken in Yellowstone at the Grand Prism, and with the zoom, I know a lot of people like the prime lenses. I'm really a zoom photographer. I like to have that ability to zoom in and out. In the Grand Prism, you have pathways and you can't get close to certain subject. That's why the zoom is very important. But if you're walking on those paths, the 150 400 is a little bit overkill. So the 12 to 100 was perfect. And what I love is that I was just carrying my OM1 with my 150 400, and I had a teeny tiny banana bag with me, and I could just reach out and take out the OM5 with the 12 to 100. It made my life easier. It allows me to actually want to shoot landscape because I didn't have to change my lenses in the field, and I knew that if there was a bird that would come, I could just, reach out and grab my bigger lens, whereas the OM5 and the 12 to 100 are super small, super compact, fit in a teeny tiny banana bag. Perfect, that's exactly what I needed. And I really like that, the form factor, that compactness, but again, I will say it again, filled with features, because I truly believe that the feature I had on this camera really pushed me to be more creative and want to take a photo instead of thinking, well, oh, I need ND filters, or I need, a tripod. No, the stabilization, the live ND filters, the fact that I could do 50 megapixel photos, that was very exciting, and that really made me pick up that camera more than I thought I would. And it turns out that I actually have a lot of landscape photos now. And here you can see, I want to show you a couple of examples. So that's the one at Grand Prism. I'm really looking at textures, I'm looking at those lines. I'm just kind of developing an eye for landscape photography, for that intimate landscape photography. And here I'm just using the camera as a normal camera. I'm not, shooting at high resolution. I'm not shooting at 50 megapixel, it's just 20 megapixel taking the shot. But then I wanted to be a little bit creative, and then I shot this one. It's on top of the mountain looking at Grand Prism. And what I did is I did a 50 megapixel shot, a high-res shot, and holding my camera. And what they tell you is that this is a great thing to have, to be able to get 50 megapixel out of your camera. But what the camera does, it takes multiple shots, stack them together. Here people were moving, and it's cool because it feels like I did a long exposure, which I didn't. It was super sunny, I had zero filter, but I just used that tool. I knew that that would give me that effect. And so you can see some people are moving in the frame, and so you have that idea of movement. And I think that really makes the photo. And once again, no ND filter, I was able to do that. So fun little photos. I love those lines. The colors were just gorgeous. And once again, bright sunny day, no filters, less time for me to look at my gear, way more time to look at my composition and look at the subject that I'm going to be shooting. So big plus with this camera, with the Om-5. And I did other landscape photos, like this one of the rainbow. I thought it might work well if I print it big. So again, that's a 50 megapixel shot of this rainbow in Yellowstone. We actually had a few storms in Yellowstone. We didn't see much wildlife, just I guess I had really bad luck, but at the same time it was great because I had so much fun with the Om-5, and the fog was just beautiful. And this is again a 50 megapixel shot. I can blow it up as well if I want to. So just having that option, I don't want all my shots to be 50 megapixel, I don't need them to be 50 megapixel, but the ones that are in my head that I think, oh, I want them to be printed extremely big, then yes, I'll get 50 megapixel, or I know I'm going to crop them, then I'm going to do that, but otherwise 20 megapixel is enough. And another big advantage of the Om-5 is the live ND filters. I had so much fun using the ND filters with the waterfalls. So you can see that's one waterfall that was at the Grand Teton National Park. Just freezing the water, freezing the movement. It just makes those shots stand out. And see, this is taken with the 12 to 100, but that's what I can get. I can get a whole view of the waterfall because it's 12 millimeter, or I can get the details, and I really like that. I think it's an extremely flexible lens, and if you're planning on doing some travel photography, then 12 to 100 is a lens that you should really consider and pack in your bag. It gives you a lot of flexibility, so that's more like an intimate landscape with the waterfall, but you can get even more in the scene. And here that was at 12 millimeter. I had everything, so I have some front with the water being super polished, and you got that effect in the water. And all that, again, no tripod, that's handheld, which is very convenient because when you're traveling, you might end up at spot like this one. There were so many people who were here. I didn't have much time. I want everybody to also enjoy, their time at the waterfall. I don't want to have to set up a tripod, take a lot of space. Here, everything is handheld. Click, click, and that's the end. So super, super convenient, and it makes photographing being fun. And that's what photography is about. I want a little rugged, compact, light camera packed with features that are gonna make my experience as a photographer better. And I want to take this camera out of my bag more, and then my friends and family will be able to enjoy some landscape as well from now on. So even I got into portrait. Yes, I did portrait, a little bit artistic portrait here with the reflection at the Grand Prism with my mom, so upside down. But as you see, it just allowed me to just enjoy the landscape more, something that I had not done before, without being afraid of, oh, what if I start changing my lens, and then what if I see a killdeer? It's okay, because I have my other camera that is really made for wildlife, the OM1 with the 150-400, so I can take that out. And even if you're traveling, you want something lighter, the 100-400 is a great lens to pair with the OM1. So now I feel like I have my macro and wildlife camera and lenses, and I have my landscape. Although, you know, the OM5 is really, really good too for macro photography. I'll probably try to do a video and show you a couple of shots that I got with the OM5 paired with the 90mm macro lens. Really fun lens to use as well because it's so small. But see, that's a shot I got at Mammoth, and I like to have the trees as my subject, and I just like the textures of those rocks. I mean, it's really mesmerizing. If you haven't been to Yellowstone or the Grand Teton, highly recommend it. Maybe May is a better season than July, but it was a fantastic trip. I'm sorry I don't have any videos, because if you go and shoot at a national park, you need to have a commercial license to put it on YouTube. And I hope it will inspire you to go and visit the national park, and also to follow all the rules for the national park. Distance with the animals, make sure that you get a commercial license if you're going to put your footage online and you're making money from the footage. Otherwise, you can also help the national park by donating money to them. I'm actually going to put the link below if you want. It's always great to be able to preserve the national park and do our job as humans, right? Enjoying the places, but also helping preserve them. So that's it for today. I hope this video was useful, especially for those of you who are thinking about maybe getting an OM5. I thought the OM5 was a great camera, but maybe not for me because I already had the OM1, and it turns out that having both cameras, this is so small, it really worked, and it's really pushing me into more landscape photography. And I'm definitely gonna buy a OM5, buy my own OM5 and pair it with the 12-100. And now that I'm in the White Mountains, I still have a lot of boxes to unpack. You're not seeing that, but plenty of boxes behind me. I'm really looking forward to doing more landscape with the OM5 and the 12-100. Now, let me know in the comment, what is your favorite camera when you're traveling, and what is your favorite lens? What is your go-to lens when you go and travel? And I think it would be a good topic of discussion for this week. I want to thank you again for all your support. If you are not a subscriber, it's never too late. Click on the subscribe button, click on the like so you know when my videos are coming out. And I cannot wait to see you next weekend. Happy shooting! Au revoir!